podcast with me, Tay.
And me, Brandon.
We kind of got inspired because me and Brandon, we were talking on the phone, and I talk a lot, and Brandon asked really good questions. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like we were having this conversation on the phone, and it sounded like we were already on a podcast, and the things we were saying were so profound that we just decided, hey, we need to have podcast.
Why not have a pod? You know, it would be fun.
So yeah, we're gonna do our absolute best to pretty much have the same conversation that we had. It was somewhat of a follow-up call to the original A Mindful Mixer event that we had at the Study by Residents in November. And we want to try to run it again in January. So we really need to just talk about all the kinks that we need to work out and how we felt at the event and how the event was received by the people who attended the event.
Yeah, all the opportunities for improvement. We are, people who welcome criticism, and we want to make something great for all of our guests. So, let's talk about some of the things that you really loved about A Mindful Mixer, because I thought it was an outstanding event.
Yeah. So I really loved the fact that there was not one glass that was broken.
That is true.
The entire event. Usually when you have an event, at the end of the night, you know that a glass is going to get broken. If you own a bar, you know that you're going to have glasses out on the floor, and a glass is going to drop onto the floor and break throughout the night. But because this is a completely sober event,
very true,
not a single glass was broken. And we had glassware by Coca-Cola.
There was so much glass. A lot of glass.
And not a single glass was broken because everyone was in their right mind.
That's an important thing. Like, when you don't even think about it, I've been to so many events in my life, like so many.
So many. All we do is go to events.
Yes. And most of them, people are drunk out of their minds.
Yes.
And you don't really realize how refreshing it is to not be drunk and then also have other people not be drunk. It's crazy.
It's good. Crazy. I don't know if people really understand the feeling of that.
So wild.
And it's like the conversations you can have in spaces where everyone's in their right mind. And it's funny because the reason that none of the glasses broke is because people don't know this, but alcohol directly affects the part of your brain that helps you balance. And that's why
those sobriety tests. Can you touch your nose? Can you wave your arms?
Yes. So alcohol specifically targets that part of your brain.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what part of your brain it is right now.
It's probably the part that helps you dance.
Yes, exactly. You're dancing, you're drinking, you're falling, you're breaking glass.
Absolutely.
So we didn't have any of the breaking glass, but we had a lot of dancing. And it was a good time. Like, the event was awesome. And I felt like everyone who came left knowing someone new.
Absolutely. I met a lot of great people, and I think everyone there definitely had a chance to meet someone new, like you said.
Yeah.
Like you said. So that's definitely outstanding positive. And, I thought something that was great was, just the diversity of attendees. There were so many different people that I have never met before,
yes.
And each person, that was their first experience with the study. So I thought that was great that everyone got to share a new experience together.
Yes, that was amazing. And I felt like it was really cool because, like we said before, me and you, we go to events in Atlanta all the time, and we have been for honestly, at this point, it's been over a decade for me.
Years.
I've been outside. So to come to an event and majority of the people are people that I have not been able to interact with yet, that was very intriguing to me.
100%.
I really, really enjoy meeting new people, and I haven't gotten the chance to do that a lot lately. So that was super refreshing. And the fact that I planned the shit.
Right.
And I didn't know most of the people made me feel even better.
No.
That was cool. We did that shit.
Facts. Big facts. I definitely enjoyed that aspect about it most, you know, and I'm super excited to even see more people continue to enjoy this experience because it's an outstanding experience, you know, like it's something you just don't really realize how rare it is because everyone around you, our entire social kind of interactions have all been alcohol based.
Yeah.
Literally drinking focused.
It's the American norm.
Yes.
It's the world norm.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think it's the world norm? Honestly, because I'm intelligent, I know. Because I read so much, I know why. It's because they literally planned this. Like the prohibition led to big alcohol and everyone became reliant on using alcohol to socialize during the prohibition, and then when it became legal, it was already so normal and everyone wanted to be a part of it, and so that just continued into now. And now big alcohol has all this money and they're lobbying to make sure that the laws don't change, to make sure that they don't have to put things like alcohol causes cancer on bottles and things along those lines. Because the reality is, if you talk to a doctor gonna tell you alcohol is the worst thing for your body.
Yes.
Like literally, period.
100%.
And it's just because people don't know, and because it's normalized, and because we literally live in a world where we are constantly working and putting effort towards the goal of making money.
Yeah.
And we are fucking stressed.
Yes.
And we need a release.
It's like a stress cycle.
And alcohol is a great way to suppress all that stress.
Keyword,
for
suppress.
A moment.
Suppress. It doesn't alleviate it.
It doesn't alleviate it. There's nothing solved afterwards. But in that moment, you're able to just relax and unwind and decompress from your day. And that's why alcohol is so popular, and that's why we use it in all aspects. Like there's a reason to drink every fucking hour of the day, because they have marketed that way
100%.
to us.
Sometimes people just shy, you know, it helps loosen people up. At the end of the day, you know, I feel you are a person who, you know, you're not as shy as everyone else.
No.
And that is actually a gift, because a lot of people, they don't have that in them. You know, it takes charisma, takes moxie to be able to talk to different people and not be afraid of them. So many people are just afraid to talk to people.
Yeah, and that's okay.
You know?
I feel like that's a normal feeling. And I can't wait until the day, and that's why I wanted to have this event, because I really want to show people that there are other options outside of alcohol that will help you to release that anxiety. And I think the more practice we have with being in our natural state and having conversation and those social interactions, the more likely we are to be able to have them without, you know, relying on being under any influence.
This is true.
Because really, we just don't have enough practice.
We're
online talking to people through a screen, and that's not nearly as intimidating. And I remember back in the day when you had to talk to people in person if you wanted to talk to them.
Yes.
Even I remember when online, even if you wanted to talk to someone online, it was public.
Fast.
When you wanted to talk to somebody on Instagram, you had to do it in the comments. We seen your ass.
That's the truth.
Now that DMs exist, I think that people have become a little more shy and gone into themselves, because it's, you know, it's made it less scary, and they've gotten used to that feeling.
This is true.
Of not having all eyes on them while they're trying to have a conversation.
The fact that somebody could be sitting literally right next to each other and then won't talk to each other, but will DM them right next to each other is crazy.
And people do it all the time.
100%.
And there's nothing wrong with any of the things that we're describing right now. It's just interesting to know, to think about how far we as humans have come from connecting to each other in our natural state.
Yes, it's like devolving.
Yes.
And we got devices to kind of like off put our social interaction. So so it's like a layer. You're not as close, and
it's a veil.
Yeah, it is a veil. That's a good word there. And I am enjoying putting the phone down. I think getting away from it sometimes helps you just remember what life is like before this shit. Like, do you remember what life was like before you had
I'm not
internet
gonna
in your
lie.
pocket?
Ever since I stopped drinking, the dopamine that I get from like small little things is so crazy. Like, I've been able to enjoy life more. I know people don't remember when they're a baby, but when you're a baby and you first get here, everything is like, holy shit.
It's amazing.
I'm kind of starting to feel that way about some
dope.
things.
That's super
because
dope.
I'm like, oh shit, like I'm starting to have better senses. Like, I can smell a little bit better when I'm outside. The color in the
more
fucking
vibrant.
trees
Everything is more
vibrant.
That's crazy. It's like a new drug being sober.
What? It really is. And I want to be sober from a lot of other things too. Like, I want to put my phone down. And that's what the Mindful Mixer is about. It's not just about being sober from alcohol. It's also about being sober from, honestly, our devices too. Learning how to just be in ourselves. And that's why I like hosting it as such an intimate space, like the study by residents, because at the study by residents, the way that you have everything set up, there's different sections of this space, so you can kind of retreat to the different sections.
You got options.
And with those options, you have a different conversation in every single space.
That's a fact.
And you almost feel like the veil is like your reality now, instead of the veil being your phone or your alcohol.
True.
So you're having a real human experience, and there's so much opportunity for connectivity in this space, because if you don't want to talk to people, you can shop. You can try on the different scents. You can try some snacks. You can try a new drink at the bar, at the mindful mixing bar.
Yep.
You can try on some clothes. Like, there's a lot to do. We have a DJ, so you can just go dance. Shout out to Job. You can just go dance on the dance floor, or you can go back upstairs and continue to enjoy conversation. And it's just interesting. Like, this space and the Mindful Mixer concept, they kind of have to happen together. And it was funny because I've been talking to you about doing a sober event for a while, and then I saw Brandon out, and he was like, "Are you still doing the sober event? Because I want to come." And I said, "You know what? I don't have anywhere to have it." And he said, "Have it at the study." And I said, "Oh my God, duh!" And we immediately started planning, and we pushed it out like a month later.
It's great. It's a great time, And I'm excited for the next one, and just the ability to kind of create new opportunities and new styles of events is, I think, super important, because just the offerings that are available currently, it's like, when you think about it, we enter into the same spaces, we party into the same atmospheres, and it kind of like produces the same type of event. And this one is completely different, and it's refreshing.
Yes.
But why? I'm always like curious as to like, why do people kind of like gravitate towards the same types of events, in your opinion?
I think that there are people that people want to see.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I honestly think I'm one of those people.
Okay.
I go to a lot of events, and people come to events and they're like, "Oh, I saw you post this. I really wanted to meet you." And I'm like, "This is not even my party. What the fuck are you talking about?" Okay. And it's okay. Y'all can do that to me, because I have an ego as well. However, I do think, I think people want to see, the same people all the time. They think those people are cool. They see them on the internet. They see what they're doing. They want to network with those people. They have ideas that they want to run by them. They have ideas that they want to, bring into, tangible form. And they feel like people who are already hosting and having tangible events,
it's inspiring.
They can learn from them. So that's why I think people keep going to events. And the reason that the events are the same it's not the attendee's fault. It's the curator's fault. I really think that people who curate events in Atlanta and people who probably curate events around the nation need to do a better job about trying to figure out what is unique about the event that they're having and how can they set themselves apart other than just being a different person.
This is true. I definitely think it takes, it takes a level of passion, and consideration to kind of want to offer a new experience. And I feel just a little perplexed in kind of why this is not, more prevalent. Like, I feel just that sentiment is sometimes lost in the city, and I don't like that. But at the same time, it's, what is, and I try not to dwell too much about what I like. It doesn't matter. It's more about what are some new things that can exist, and how can we make those new things more accessible, more popular, and make that a thing as opposed to these other things. Like, I'm always down for new, fresh flavors, ideas, not the same thing,
And I honestly think, like, people like us, that, like you said, the key word there is passion. I don't think that a lot of people who are throwing parties and events are necessarily passionate about it.
Nah,
there are a lot of people who are just DJs.
Yeah.
And so they throw parties because they're DJs, and them throwing parties gets them money because that's their gigs. And a lot of them don't want to curate the event. They wish someone else would curate an event.
It's the truth.
And pay them.
It's the truth.
But a lot of times venues, and the venue owners need to address this too. They don't want to pay out your DJs if you're the curator.
Yeah, they don't see it as two different positions.
Exactly. They want you to come in and see how you can make them money. But what venues need to start doing, and honestly, I will say, I know that this is probably crazy, but Reverie. I really fucked with Vince because he would say, hey, Taylor, have an event at Reverie. Here's $400 so you can pay people to be a part of the event. That was real as fuck.
Budget.
That was real. It wasn't a lot of money. And then he would give me a percentage of the bar too.
That takes experience.
He was a real ass person for that. Like, I really, really appreciate him for that shit.
Vince is a veteran, and he understands that in order for a great experience to happen, it can't come from absolutely nothing. It's like, I think my kind of way to frame it is a lot of things end up being DIY, and a lot of people don't have a focus or end goal of what they're trying to achieve. So if you implement a standard, which essentially that was indicative of a standard, he believed that parties or events or experiences should have some baseline level,
at least good sound or good photography.
100%.
Yeah.
And these are the things that you will actively contribute towards to ensure that you continue that baseline.
Yeah.
And I think that is an important thing to kind of carry on, because that's something I think that's just lost in Atlanta a lot of times. And it's unfortunate because it makes a lot of sense why. But I feel like if we know this, and kind of there's a lot of people who go to parties. There's no shortage of people partying.
Yeah, they're happy. It's out. It's an outside ass city.
100%. But I feel that you have to kind of have stronger, I don't want to say demands, but maybe just a higher standard for...
Throw a critique in there.
Yeah,
I'll criticize the fuck out of somebody. I don't know why I act like that, but I always have some shit to say. And everybody knows that about me. And they be like, here come Taylor ass. But at the end of the day, it's because I fuck with y'all and I want to help y'all elevate the concepts that y'all already have. I see your vision and I know that I can add value to that vision. And Absolutely. I know that your value is more than what you're throwing out there. I like to challenge people.
100%. And, and also something to add on to that is you are also have to ensure value, because something that is continuously happening is that nothing is free. Everything is going up. So if you have a promise, essentially you're a customer at this point and you're not delivering value to the customer, there's a discrepancy, and I think that is the core root of some of the problems that arise in Atlanta. Is like people just continue to go. They keep supporting something that doesn't end up delivering true value to you because it's what's around. There's nothing. It doesn't incentivize anyone to create something new and better. So
and I'll be honest with you, that's one of the big reasons that I didn't really want to go out on New Year's. Because I felt like the same parties were happening on New Year's, but they just cost $50 to $80
the price
instead
is going
of costing
up.
$15 to $35.
This is the truth.
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of y'all are my friends, and I love y'all, but y'all got me fucked up. Like, I'm not paying $50 to do the shit that y'all do monthly.
I feel you.
Like, y'all have me fucked up. Y'all need to provide something else. A champagne toast, a free champagne toast would have been nice. You know, hors d'oeuvres would have been nice.
Heard.
Zhuzh it up a little bit. You're making an extra $40 on a ticket. So why aren't you adding something else of value to the customer? And that was a big part of why I wanted to do the Mindful Mixer. Because I felt like people see value in drinking alcohol. Like they're like, if there's alcohol there, I'm having great. That's their value. When I removed the value of alcohol, I wanted to add other factors. I wanted the drinks, like a baseline ticket fee. And then I was like, drinks free all night, food free and as long as it lasts. Music and a private shopping experience. And then I also had the floral bouquets that 100%. You could purchase, and then the VIP gifts.
So many options. And to me, one of the greatest value adds was just perspective. Simply the atmosphere of non-alcoholic, it was just incredible because you just realize how rare that actually is. Like, there's not any places that you can go to really outside of, you know, like a Sober Social is a cool place. But, you know, the majority of places are
they're
alcohol.
Just a store.
It's just a store, or just, you know.
Just a bar.
Just a bar. Like,
which is totally fine. And I think that's why the parties that are already happening are awesome. And I want them to keep happening. I do want people to challenge themselves to do something better. But I think that the Mindful Mixer is a great reset for in between attending those types of events.
100%.
Go to 3 or 4 events where you're drinking and having a good time, turning up. You know, do whatever you need to do. I love watching people be under the influence. They're having so much fun, and they seem
I would never
so
tell anybody
free.
Not to have fun.
Literally.
Live your life.
Never.
I would
never say that. But I want people to do it, you know, in moderation.
Yeah, responsibly
and have
too.
Another option.
Don't crash out.
Don't crash out. Please don't crash out. So I like the fact that it's like, okay, I went to like 3 crazy events this month. Let me go to the Mindful Mixer because that event will be, let me taste something different. Let me get some food. Let me see what these mocktails are about. You know what I mean? Like, let me actually have some good conversations with some people. Let me network a little bit. Let me just dance and not be drunk while I'm dancing. You know, maybe I just want to be free without the drink. You know,
it's a mind-blowing experience. I highly encourage it if you've never tried it. You know, you just think you need these things sometimes, and that's my biggest thing. Is like, if there's anybody who loves drinking, I love drinking. That's my favorite thing to do.
When people don't finish their drinks, Brandon, I be looking at that drink like, ugh.
Exactly. It's my favorite thing to do, and you know, I just realized that it's just doing a lot of damage. Like, you know, like. Yeah. And it just became a cycle for me that it was just like, yo, like, what am I doing? I'm drunk every day. Like, this is too much. Like, so, I just had to switch gears, and I loved it. I loved it. Like, you know, the thing that I'm just super excited about is just more experiences like a Mindful Mixer so that everyone can get a chance to feel, you know, what I've felt for a while, and, you know, just being aware, seeing something new, you know, like I'd liken it to what you just said about, you know, it's kind of just like a new way to look at things. Like, you just open up your eyes, new perspective. I love it, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool to be in a room where you remember what everybody looks like.
Big facts.
Because a lot of times y'all taking home ducks.
Yo.
Y'all taking home 4s and 5s. You come to the Mindful Mixer,
Yeah, that's a.
I'm not even gonna hold you. It was like a lot of really good looking people. And you could see that they were good looking because you're not under any influence. And all the lights are on. So you're like, damn.
Man, I've had some crazy nights.
Kind of
I've had some crazy nights with what you just said, and it's the truth. You don't remember the lights be off. You don't care. Like, it's
Wake
crazy.
up in the morning, it's a different story. So yeah, just something new. And you can come to a mindful mixer, still have just as good of a time that you would have at a club or like a night out. But you can wake up in the morning.
Facts.
And like go on a run.
No hangover.
Maybe you meet somebody at the mindful mixer and y'all hanging out the next morning.
Y'all could go on a run. Y'all can go on a hike.
Y'all could get
no
coffee.
Grogginess.
Y'all at the gym now. Like it's
true.
some real shit happening.
This is
now.
the truth.
And then that's how that spirals into like more connections. And we're not saying that we're not saying you have to be sober.
No.
Like you just have to be sober curious and have the desire to, want to feel what it's like to be sober in a social setting.
It really is like a drug.
It's
a good drug.
No, that dopamine is crazy. And it's so funny because it's it's literally should be the most normal thing. True. But it's literally taboo to connect with people in your sober state.
How ironic. Crazy.
Yo, the world is a crazy place.
Yeah, but I am definitely hopeful for all of the new kind of exciting opportunities that the non-alcoholic space is bringing. You featured some new incredible non-alcoholic brands. What were some of the, inspirations behind some of your choices in those?
Yeah, so for the Mindful Mixer, I partnered with Zero Co. The Zero Co. is a really awesome non-alcoholic bottle shop that is located off of North Highland. And so I actually have worked for them for it's almost going to be 2 years in April. And so just working there and talking to people, I have restaurant background experience. So I've been a bartender before. Very briefly, I could only make a Long Island iced tea.
Hey, but that's a classic thing. It gets the job done.
I worked at a hood spot, so it's like everybody's ordering a Long Island or everyone's getting a Jack and Coke. So I'm not a trained bartender. I'm not, good at this. But working at the Zero Co, I've learned kind of, I'm buying stuff and taking it home, and I'm just mixing stuff up. And I actually really love flavor. I cook as well.
Great
so
flavor.
This is just another way for me to experience flavor, and I've just found a love for it. So some of the things that I featured at the Mindful Mixer were a yuzu drop. So used Yuzu Co. has this really awesome concentrated yuzu juice, and so I used that to basically make a lemon drop, but instead I made a yuzu drop and I used a non-alcoholic vodka. And then I also used some espresso. I made an espresso martini, but I used Seed Lips Spice 94, which is basically what I describe as a non-alcoholic rum alternative. So I made basically an espresso martini, but with a non-alcoholic rum alternative that has
quite delicious.
Really great notes of clove and star anise. And my goal with the Mindful Mixer and making the beverages craft was to make people understand that you can still have an adult beverage. A kid doesn't want to drink that. It's not juice.
True. It's definitely not juice.
You can still have an adult beverage that is craft, that has the spice, that has all the complexities that you need, that you would usually get in a cocktail, but you can have it in a non-alcoholic form.
Love that.
And so that was my goal. I wanted people to feel oh shit, I don't actually have to drink. Because you can get dopamine from flavor alone.
That's the truth. When you got some exotic flavors.
And that's what I'm trying to say. So that's the shit that I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to show them look, the dopamine, the feeling that you get from alcohol, you can still get it from somewhere else. And I also incorporated some adaptogenic things and functional things. And if you guys don't know what adaptogens and functional beverages are, they basically include superfood mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, turkey tail, damiana, ashwagandha, and other things and other herbs and spices and basically what I describe as vitamins that are great for your brain health and your gut health.
Nice.
And when your brain and your gut are both clean, they work together to release more dopamine and serotonin, all those happy feelings that already exist in your body.
That's fine.
They can exit your mind and like come together to make you feel as if you're having a euphoric experience.
100%.
But yeah, the goal is to make people understand that they can still have that euphoric vibe without alcohol, and they can wake up the next morning and feel amazing.
Well, you absolutely delivered, and I'm super excited to try the next flavors, your next inspiration.
Oh yeah, I've been cooking
of flavors.
I've been cooking.
There's some. I think in this new year, what are the things that you're looking forward to most? Would you say?
Honestly, I think the thing that I'm looking forward to most in the new year is more opportunities to connect. Like, I feel like last year I actually did not have a lot of opportunity to genuinely connect with people. Even though I was sober the whole year, I was still attending all the same parties and events, and like it is really difficult to connect with people when you're like one of the only sober people in the room.
This is facts.
And oftentimes when you're one of the only sober people in the room, there's other sober people, but you're not going to get the chance to meet them because there's so many drunk people in between you and that sober person.
100%. 100%.
And when I did the Mindful Mixer, it was already the end of the year. So now that concept has come into fruition and I got feedback and people felt like they had such a good time that they want to come back to the next one and that they're going to bring a friend and then all this stuff. I'm going to be throwing more events that incorporate a sober, curious mindset.
Love that.
And I'm even going to be doing some events that combine sobriety, people who are sober, curious, and people who still drink and just want to taste.
You got options. The key is options.
So I'm going to be doing both, and I'm going to try to figure out how to bridge the gap between people who drink and people who don't drink, and figuring out how to make sure that they can still connect.
I love that.
So that's what I'm most looking forward to. I have some concepts that I'm about to start pushing out. So not only am I going to be doing the Mindful Mixer, but there'll be a few other events that I really hope that you guys get to attend. And just know that if you're buying a ticket, you are 100% going to get the value out of that ticket, whether it be me giving you a gift, you leaving with something, getting a free drink, a new friend, food. The opportunity to connect and leave with value is going to be there. It's not just going to be somewhere where you can go party and maybe talk to somebody. Like you're leaving there with something.
Love it.
In the good words of Denzel Washington, I'm leaving in with something.
I appreciate that because it's not a promise that everyone can keep. So I appreciate the people who deliver on that. And you touched on something that I think everyone is going to be interested in the new year is like connection, but I think intention too, in the sense of how people go out. I think as all these things around us in the world that continue to happen, I think it's important to be mindful of how you intentionally enter spaces and how you intentionally utilize your time. And connections are super important as technology and all these things continue to further isolate us, social media, so on and so forth. People, I think, are going to be looking for stronger connections, whether it be platonic, personal, in relational senses. Business, absolutely. And I think that, something that I've always been curious about is just, do you feel that there's kind of, do you think it's challenging to connect with people who maybe are not sober curious or are not sober like in these different kind of capacities? Like I feel that something that I've experienced is it's kind of difficult to align with people in these respects. Is like sometimes these when you're talking to people in relational senses, people kind of default to drinking, or
Yeah.
just kind of how
Oh
they
my God, yeah.
want to go to the next moves or anything like that.
Yes.
It's like a default. You have to rethink how you date, or how you
Yes.
build a personal connection, even how you build a business relationship, because so much of it is just so rooted in just like, yo, we're drinking together.
Everything is rooted around drinking, and you don't notice it till you're sober.
Yes.
I like what you said about dating. I have had to reframe the way that I date now. Because a lot of times guys want to take you for a drink.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take you to a restaurant for a drink, or they want to take you to the park for a drink. They want to take you to drink. And drinking, as a woman, guys are gonna try to push you to drink because they know that it's gonna make you like feel loosen up and want to talk to them more. And it's not always in like a predatory sense. They just want you to be open so that they can have better conversations with you and stuff like that. Like, I don't always think that guys are like doing it to be creepy. It's just the way that they talk. They're all nervous, and they want to drink too. And so, with me being sober, I honestly have had to, it's not that I'm like actively trying to date people who are also sober, because a lot of the people that I'm dating are not totally sober, but I've noticed that I do have to date people that are willing to not drink with me. And I have to date people that naturally have a certain level of depth.
100%.
Because if you don't have a certain level of depth, we're not going to be able to have a conversation. It's going to be over so quick.
It exposes.
I literally swear to God, like, okay, when I was drinking, I could date a guy for like 2-3 months and have a nice little fling. Now that I'm sober, it'd be 3 days.
I feel it. People get old quick when it's like they don't have anything.
And they get tired of me too, because I'm having real conversations that they don't want to have.
That's a fact.
And so I have really had to reframe that. And like, I am so grateful for the person that I'm dating now, because like this is a person that wants to talk about shit and wants to like have conversations that are not surface level. And this person isn't even sober. It's just like they're willing, they have depth.
And you unlocked a new level because you wasn't so focused on the other parts. And I think that's super important. It's just like, sometimes you don't really know people until you could talk to them like just regularly. Like, if you're always in the default mode of just being sloshed, do you really know them?
Yes, and honestly, this comes up in relationships a lot, but we just don't know what it is. We don't know how to identify it, where people are partying and having a good time, and when they first meet, and it's like the first year that you're with somebody, y'all are going out every weekend and y'all are drinking, y'all are going to get dinner and y'all are drinking. And then when you guys like decide to take it to the next level and you like start, you may move in together, or you may just start being at each other's houses more often, and you're like not drinking in those settings. And then you start to think like, I do not like this nigga.
Yo.
I do not like this nigga. And it's crazy because it's like, this whole time, you actually probably did not like the nigga the entire time, but you had no clue.
You had a lot of distractions. Yeah, you had a lot of distractions. And people just love distractions at the end of the day, I definitely believe that.
I love distractions to this day.
Yeah, but, sometimes I definitely do think it's like, what's the point of even engaging with people if you don't really like them? So, I want to kind of get that over with now. I don't want to prolong that. I want to know that I like somebody now, just kind of for who they are.
And that's another reason why I decided to stay sober. Because I started to realize, like, okay, a lot of people are, like, kind of dismissing themselves from my life. And I feel really good when they leave. And it's fucked up because these are people that I love and care about, and I miss them. But I'm like, damn, folks was dragging a nigga down.
That weight is real, It's like, people can block your blessings as well, too. It's like, I think getting to know you is such an important thing. And I think that people who kind of haven't taken the time to sit down and actually do that, like sit with themselves, it can be difficult for them and you, because they'll just kind of get in your way after a while. And if that isn't something that you aspire to, like, you kind of got to ask yourself, like, why?
Why am I here? What am I doing this for?
Yeah.
And that's the introspection that you don't get when you don't have a lot of sober moments.
Very true.
And I think I'm not asking people to be sober.
No.
I'm
sober curious.
Yes, I'm asking people to be sober curious. Challenge your relationship with alcohol, because alcohol is affecting you even after you're done drinking it, and it has left your blood alcohol level has subsided.
100%.
Alcohol is still affecting you. That's what a hangover is. That's what the grogginess is on day 2 and day 3. But by day 4, you're back drinking again and you're feeling good again, and your mind actually never has a chance to catch back up with itself. And that's why doctors say that alcohol is so bad for you, because your brain is in a constant state of suppression.
This is true.
So you don't actually have the opportunity to get to get introspective, to challenge your ideas around life in general, not even just your relationship with alcohol, your relationship with people, your relationship with your job, your relationship with sleep.
100%.
Yes, you just don't have the opportunity to do it. And that's why I like when people are able to be like, hey, I'm not going to drink. I'm going to do a drinking fast for 30 days.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, but the things you can learn in 30 days of not drinking, phenomenal.
100%.
And then you can go back to drinking after that, and then maybe take another break in the next couple of months. It's the same shit with your phone.
This is the truth.
Taking 7 days off your phone will change your fucking life. I developed an entire festival.
Wow.
Because I took a 1 month, my phone broke, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to get it fixed. I took a month off of having a phone, period. And I developed an entire festival that is a completely new concept that no one has ever fucking done before. And I executed it within a year of coming up with the idea.
Right.
And it was very good.
It takes you,
being
able to focus on something else other than what's going on in the world, all these things. You can focus on you and, what you want to see in the world. So I think that that's an important thing, like you're hitting the nail on the head. It's like sometimes just taking a break. I think that's what Sober January is about.
Dry January.
Dry January. And, I think there's some exciting things happening in Dry January coming up. What can we look forward to there?
Dry January is crazy because I just found out today that 50% of millennials are actually participating in Dry January, which is an insane number.
That is huge.
And I know the people who run big alcohol are pissed off.
Well, there's honestly a lot of alcohol brands entering into the non-alcoholic
because
space.
they see what the transition that is shifting into. They see people being sober curious and wanting to take a break. Maybe a lot of people are doing this thing where it's like, I'm just not going to drink Monday through Friday, and I'm only going to drink on Saturdays. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? And that type of moderation is life changing.
True.
And so I feel like the things that you can look forward to in Dry January, we're going to be doing another mindful mixer.
Absolutely.
The Zero Co has like a paint and sip coming up. So if you
nice.
wanted to do like a paint and sip that's totally sober and try some non-alcoholic wines, that will be available. They're going to also be doing some stuff at the Sober Social. So there's a lot to look forward to in Atlanta for Dry January. And I think you can just look forward to people overall being in better moods.
Hey,
I am so sorry, but alcohol is why y'all are pissed. Like over time, it pisses you. Like you are more aggressive and you don't know that that's happening.
No, I was definitely angry.
The label does not say that on the bottle.
It don't.
But alcohol is upsetting.
It is.
It's upsetting you, and it's okay. Like you just don't know it, and that's why it's good to take breaks. So I think we can look forward to people just overall having better attitudes, being more emotionally regulated, and fun events where you actually have the opportunity to connect to people.
I'm incredibly excited for that. The opportunity to connect is something that I've been, craving myself for such a long time. So I'm super elated to have these opportunities to connect with you all, and I'm excited to see what the new year holds. New year, new me, right?
Yeah, new year, new me.
Okay. Well,
so
this has been an amazing, chat. I got to learn more about the nuances of the Sober Social. The Mindful Mixer.
Yes.
And I'm just excited about all the new things that the new year is about to bring, and I can't wait to get into it.
Yes, thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure that you all pull up to A Mindful Mixer and stay tapped in with me. Follow me on Instagram at A Mindful Mixer and at Tay Sick Thoughts. I do events, I do fun stuff, and I'm a super cool girl with really nice hair. So,
thanks.
Yeah, follow me, and I hope to see you guys soon, and I'm excited to hear how you guys are challenging yourselves to try something new in Dry January.
Yes. And you can find us at the Study by Residents on Instagram and Residents ATL. And we got some great things coming up for you all in the new year. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and I can't wait for you all to check out what we have going. Yeah. Definitely come to the Study by Residents.
Yes.
And come to A Mindful
By
Mixer.
appointment only.
100%.
Thank you for the opportunity to just like have this conversation. And 100%. Honestly, maybe we should probably have the conversation again.
Yeah, all good.
Do we have a podcast now?
Hey, man, let's
now
do it
I have
again.
2 podcasts.
Why not? All right, thank you all.
Thanks for
and
listening.
Have a wonderful evening. See you soon.